Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification button. And before we start today's stream, I would like to remind you all to give us a follow on TikTok at Crypto Saving Expert. I'm posting TikToks on there every single day now, talking about what's going on in the news, giving you 60-second snippets of what's happening in the world of cryptocurrency. So make sure to check that out if you have not already. But now let's take a look at what's happening to the price of Bitcoin. Let's see what we've got in store for this week. Good evening from Australia, says Jason. Thank you very much for tuning in. As always, let's see what is here. So we have Bitcoin currently trading at $28,900. Let's check that's been running smoothly. Yes, it has. There we go. $28,900. So we have gone down below that $29,000 level. Not what I wanted to see this morning. Down 1.64% in the last 24 hours. But we still have some levels of support here. I will be discussing the price of Bitcoin at the end of today's stream. I think I've got a few controversial opinions to share with you guys today, so make sure to stay tuned until the very end. We also have Ethereum down almost 2% in the last 24 hours to 1,832. Now let's see what's been happening here. So in terms of biggest gainers, we've seen FTT rise 7.5% off the back of them announcing they are still planning to launch the exchange once again. So that's the token for FTX exchange that went bankrupt in November last year. They are looking to relaunch that. We will be discussing that in today's stream. We can also see PancakeSwap has had a rise. That is a DeFi project there. We've obviously seen Curve Finance be hacked within the last 24 hours, which would cause an effect. You can see Shiba Inu has had a nice rise this week. Not so much in the last 24 hours, but this is off the back of all of those meme coins pumping. On the Base network, we've seen Bold, Base and Coin all pumping, and two of those now being rug pulled as well. So we will be talking about that and the effect on meme coins have had on the industry within the last 24 hours. It's not looking too good, really. Everything's looking pretty green. Toncoin is down 15% within the last 24 hours. Chainlink is up as a whole over the week, but really not that much. Bitcoin Cash is up as a whole on the week, 3.5% there. Lots to discuss today. It's been an interesting week. Let's get straight into it. Let's see what's going on. First of all, let's pull up this news about, what are we going to start with first? Elon Musk. So let me pull up this video for you guys of Elon Musk here today. I hope you can all hear this clearly. Let me make sure that we have this all correct. So this is it. Hope you can hear this video here. Can you guys hear that? I think, yeah, I don't think you can hear this. Let me check. Let's add some, Well, I could hear it before the stream, and now it looks like we can't hear it during the stream. Good morning, Bruce. Thank you very much for tuning in again. Let's see how we can fix this audio here. So what we want to do is we want to add a audio, hopefully. Let's try this one more time. And so Mining says you can't hear this video. Let's see if we can fix this very quickly. This is not what we needed for today's stream. Everything seems to work off stream, and then as soon as you press live, everything just goes terribly, terribly wrong. Let's see what we could do here. Let's see if we can fix this. Let's see here. Let's see what we can do. Let's try and press play. Do you know what we can do? We can just launch the video up here. So let's go to here and let's play live. Here we go. Here we go. Almost in action. Let's try again.
There's a product plan I wrote, which I wish I'd kept the copy of in July of 2000, where I thought it would be possible to make the most valuable financial institution in the world.
You have made it make sense. This is why it's not working. Here we go. Now we should have some action here. Let's see if this works here. Hopefully it does. Let's pause that. Ready? Let's go.
The most valuable financial institution in the world. And we're going to execute that plan from 22 years ago, which amazingly no one has done. And so I think that's part of why I think Twitter will be ultimately extremely valuable, because I'm going to execute the X.com game plan from 22 years ago. with some improvements. And then we're also going to obviously make Twitter just a way better system.
So there we have it. There's the first video for today. We have seen Elon Musk say in that video that he has had he created a 22-year plan back in July 2000, and he now wants to start executing that plan because it seems that nobody else has wanted to. Now he's looking at X.com being the most valuable financial institution ever, globally, worldwide. And a lot of people are looking at this and saying, is this going to be the thing that pushes cryptocurrency and gets that wide adoption? Now, we all know that Elon Musk is a huge fan of Dogecoin, so the people are getting pretty excited about this. If X is going to be the everything app, if it's going to be the most valuable financial institution globally, and he wants to put Dogecoin as the center of that could be pretty exciting, and that could be the push for cryptocurrency that we need. Let's take a look at Dogecoin. Dogecoin hasn't really reacted too well to this news. We could see a lot more from this. We did see a little bit of a pump. This is on the daily chart. We saw a nice movement up a week ago on the 25th of July, and we've just seen sideways action from this. It hasn't even reacted to the meme coins pumping in general. Dogecoin seems to be disconnected from all of that now. It has been around for the longest time of all of the meme coins. You always hear stories of people mining Doge back in like 2015 and then losing all of their Dogecoins because it was just an easy thing to mine. It was quite a good project to do back in the day, but now it's worth a considerable amount of money. But let's move on to the next story here. This is another video for you guys. Hopefully this one goes a little bit more smoothly. We are going to be taking a look at what's been happening in China. First of all, let's pull this up. I hope you guys can see this. So China to develop blockchain infrastructure in Shanghai by 2025. China are really trying to push with blockchain technology and trying to build and develop in different ways. We also have a video here that takes a look at their CBDC. So check this out. This is a pretty interesting video here. What you're going to see is they have these cameras, these speeding cameras, that if you're found speeding through these cameras, the fine is automatically deducted from the CBDC currency. Let's take a look at this. So that's what's going on there. Pretty scary stuff here. So let me read to you guys what's been said with this video. China's CBDC is linked to a digital ID, and if caught speeding, a fine is automatically deducted from your digital wallet by a surveillance system. So automating all of these different things here, really advancing and using blockchain technology and CBDCs to automate all of these different things. Crazy what's going on over there, and it seems that a lot of other places are 5 steps behind China in this kind of process, but we'll see how fast the rest of the world catches up on things like this. Let's continue on to the next story now and see what else is going on. Let's see where we are. Now we're over all those video stuff. Hopefully we don't have any more video malfunctions here. It's just a seamless video now. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Umar says, yeah, I think X will be good. Yes, X.com is. I mean, Elon Musk's on a mission and he doesn't look like he's going to stop. We've obviously seen that change of logo last week from the bird to the X icon. He's still on that mission to create the everything app. He wants to do that in the best way possible. And if he's going to help push cryptocurrency to the masses, that's something I could get on board with. But this is a controversial topic there. Let's see what else is going on. So the SEC has asked Coinbase to delist everything except Bitcoin, according to Brian Armstrong. Now, there's been some debate surrounding this within the last couple of hours. So actually what's happened here is Brian Armstrong had an interview with the Financial Times. And from the interview, the Financial Times have announced and created the news that the SEC have asked Coinbase to delist everything except Bitcoin. But if we actually take a look here, let me get onto Twitter a second, and we go to Coinbase's page. You can see that Coinbase have actually distanced themselves from this announcement, essentially. So let's take a look at their Twitter page here. So we can see that they have said, let's get to the right point here. Was cool. Let's see where we can find this. What are we looking at here? We have Coinbase is striving to set an industry standard. Let's see what we've got. As you might have heard, on June 6th, 10 US states initiated proceedings relating to Coinbase's retail staking services. This is not the one. Right, essentially what's happened here is Coinbase have distanced themselves from Brian Armstrong on this and said that's not actually what Brian Armstrong said in this interview. There was a lot of stuff around it and that has been completely removed. What's happened in this article and what Financial Times have reported is that all of the cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin is a security according to the SEC, and that the SEC actually asked Coinbase to remove all other tokens from their exchange. And Brian Armstrong said, we can't do that. That would completely kill cryptocurrency in the US. So we'll have to stay up to date on this story because it would be interesting to see what Brian Armstrong actually meant with these statements, because it's crucial for the development of the cryptocurrency industry that the SEC regulate this in the correct way. And right now, everything just seems so complicated when it does not need to be. Let's take a look at the next article here. Good morning, Randy. Thank you very much for tuning in, as always. Let's see what's going on here. So Binance has announced licensed virtual asset exchange in Dubai. So on Monday, Binance announced that it had become the world's first cryptocurrency exchange to receive an operational minimum viable product license in Dubai. So what we can see here, obviously we all know that Dubai is a hotspot for people in cryptocurrency. People seem to move there pretty frequently if they're in the cryptocurrency space, and Binance have now got that license to operate there, and I imagine from that they will take a massive market share there as well. Let's continue on to the next story here. Let's see what else is in store. Bold meme coin turns $500 into $1 million on Coinbase blockchain. So we've seen multiple tokens perform very well within the last 48 hours. And these have been on the Coinbase blockchain. Now, Coinbase's Base is a layer 2 blockchain for Ethereum. So essentially, it's like an extra layer on top of Ethereum, faster transaction speeds, lower transaction fees. And we've seen meme coins being built on the base layer, and they have been performing incredibly well. So we've seen Bold, we've seen Base, and we've seen Coin. Now, these Bold is meant to symbolize Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase's bald head, apparently. And then we have Coin, and then we have Base, obviously, for Coinbase. But what we have seen here, as many of these tokens have actually rug pulled, so we've seen them dump in price as well, with Bold being one of them. So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Curious traders have been using Coinbase's Layer 2 blockchain despite the lack of functioning crypto bridge and the network being restricted from public access in search of their potential fortune. Now, we all know that meme coins have been performing incredibly well within the last couple of months. We've seen a huge amount of tokens move to higher highs, Pepe being the leader of those projects, and now we're seeing tokens on the Base network as well. But what we have unfortunately seen is a huge amount of sell-offs and rug pulls as a result of this. If we take a look at that Martini guy's Twitter here, you can see that he's tweeted this: "Glad I quit meme coins. They were fun, but they stopped being fun and started getting dangerous a while ago. There are more reliable opportunities investing in 100x altcoins." Two $50 million plus rugs in 24 hours is horrendous. That's some serious money lost. And you can see here with Bold, it was trading at almost 10 cents, and then it went down to 0.01669 in just a few minutes. And you can see again for Base here, we had a similar situation. It was trading at around 8 cents. It even went up to 10 cents, almost 11 cents at one point in time. And then it's trading at a fraction of a penny. So what we're seeing again is more sell-offs by those initial investors, rug pulling these tokens. Not what we want to see, not something that's going to help the space. As we see this over and over again, it scares more people out of the industry. I'm not a fan of meme coins. They pump, they dump, they burn a lot of people. Someone has to make money for somebody to lose money. Someone has to lose money for someone to make money even. We see that over and over again with meme coins. They are enticing lots of people into the industry because we hear all of these amazing stories of people making millions of dollars off a very small investment, but the vast majority of people get burnt from these tokens. So that's what I don't like about them. I do think they are great at enticing people into the space, and fingers crossed people that get into meme coins and understand them then get to understand the blockchain technology even more and choose to stay in the space. But what we see here is when we see rug pulls over and over again, people are getting burnt. and people want to leave the industry, and that's not what we want to see. We're all about driving adoption here. But there has been one nice story from this meme coin, Bold. So $500 has been turned into $1 million, and I would like to talk about this quickly. So we can see here late on Saturday that changed as a crypto Twitter user, CheatCoiner, tweeted about the meme coin Bold on Base Network, which was funded by Coinbase staked at Ether. The tweet indicated that they had acquired 2% of the Bold supply. This event triggered a rapid bull market surge. Within 6 hours, the market cap of Bold tokens skyrocketed to $50 million. And by late Sunday, the market cap had risen to $85 million, earning CheatCoiner more than $1.4 million from an initial investment of $500. So that's a surge of 4,000,000%. Now that's a massive, massive increase. And I would like to say, a lot of people call this luck. I would not call this luck. Who has the patience and and just the belief to hold a $500 investment to $1.4 million? If you invested $500 and it went to $10,000, you're pretty likely to take profit. If it went to $20,000, you're pretty likely to want to take profit. This guy has held on to this investment to $1.4 million. That is insane, and that is not something that is easy to do. So we can see here they purchased 50 million Bold tokens within 4 minutes of the token's issuance and transferring a total of 0.534 Ether, just over $1,000. So we can see here at the time of writing, Bold has dropped 62.7% in the last 24 hours. It remains to see how much of these gains will be withdrawn from Base. As of Monday, users could only move funds from Ethereum to Base with no official support for removal of funds from the new chain. So that's something that may need to be stay on there for a set period of time until Coinbase continue to build that layer. But interesting here that meme coins are back in the news once again. Obviously, as I said at the start of today's stream, we've seen Shiba Inu reacting positively to meme coins taking the spotlight once again. Let's find it. Where was it? Here we go. 6.29% increase within the last 7 days. Let's see what else we've got here. Do we have any more meme coins in the top 50 tokens? Let's take a look. Let's see what we can find. I think we should be seeing Pepe somewhere in this list. Further down, I would believe, maybe in ranking 120. Let's see what we can find. We want to get rid of that top 100. We want to see all of them. All of them. Let's get on to this. Good morning, Randy. Good morning, Anthony. Thank you very much for tuning in once again. Before we continue with today's stream, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. If you have not already, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com, the best cryptocurrency website out there, where we talk about everything crypto. We've got all of the courses, all of the guides, all of the education you need to learn about the cryptocurrency space in more detail. And we have this amazing markets tab as well, where you can track all of your favorite altcoins, and we have some big features coming soon as well. So if you haven't already, make sure to press that big blue sign up button at the top and get signed up to this website so you don't miss out on what everyone else is learning about. Let's take a look at this next article here. Really interesting one here. I would like to say before we get into this video, this section, I am not a Hex investor. I have never been a Hex investor. Pulse Chain, PulseX, not something that I'm really interested in. The creator, Richard Hart, has now been sued by the SEC for securities fraud. This guy flaunts his wealth on social media all of the time. Now, I'm not saying that is a crime, but this guy has been running this project, telling everybody it's the best project in crypto, to leave behind Bitcoin, to leave behind altcoins, and just go it all in on Hex for years. It has been looking a bit fishy, that's all I've got to say, but these are only allegations at the moment. We'll see how this plays out. We have seen here that he is being charged with offering unregistered securities. This guy has managed to raise $1 billion in funds in ICOs since 2019. And this guy has also been accused of using investor funds to buy personal goods. And that is the kicker here. So we've all been seeing him flaunt his cash on Instagram, on social media platforms. Is that being our cash the whole time? That's the question here. So that's the accusation the SEC has been making so far. My question is this just another arrow the SEC is shooting at the cryptocurrency space? Was he just a nice target because it might scare people out the space with having such an influential figure being shot down? or is this something that actually has the legwork to be in action? Now, I know I was on Around the Blockchain on BitBoy's show last night discussing this with a guy that's very involved in Hex, and he was pointing out some problems within the filing against Richard Hart and some key errors they've made in that filing, and they've misinterpreted what Hex is in some instances, and that could really damage their case against Richard Hart and against his projects. But we'll have to see how this plays out. It's a pretty interesting one here, because Hex has always divided the cryptocurrency space massively. Some people love it, some people hate it. Essentially what it is tokenized CDs. So what you can do is you can buy Hex, you can invest in Hex for the long term, you can trade Hex, or you can actually stake your Hex essentially, lock up your Hex for a period of time, in fact up to 15 years, and earn interest on your tokens if you do not sell or trade them within that period. Now, if you choose to change your mind and you want to actually trade them or sell your tokens, you get penalized massively. So that's how this is working here. Now, it's being accused of being a Ponzi scheme before. They've had all of the backlash you can imagine, but right now, the SEC have accused them of securities fraud and defrauding investors. So this is a really interesting story here because it divides a lot of people in the space. Let me know in the chat if you are a Hex investor. Let's take a look at how the price of Hex has been affected from this. Let's search Hex on cryptosavingexpert.com. Let's press search and see what's going on. Coins, Hex here is down 31% in the last 24 hours. Taking a look at this, we have seen the price decrease massively. If you take a look at what happened in the bull market in the top of 2021, it was trading at 56 cents. It's now trading at 0.0057. So for it to get back to its all-time high, it would need to do a 100x. Now, this is ranked number 201 in terms of market cap. This is a pretty big project, and Hex investors are very, very loyal to that investment. I've seen this over and again on social media. This Richard Hart guy, although I don't believe in this project as such, this guy is incredibly, incredibly smart. So we'll see how this plays out. There are two real options here, as we discussed in yesterday's stream. He could fight this in court with like XRP, or he could kind of come to a settlement. Now, there's a similar project that has been accused of, there's a project that has been accused of this before by the SEC, and that is EOS. Now, they raised $4 billion in their ICOs, and they paid a settlement of $23 million. When you look at the difference between that, if Hex come to a similar settlement, it would be like $10 million settlement for Richard Hart. He's raised over $1 billion within the last 4 years, and this guy flaunts his wealth everywhere. He looks like he's got enough to pay that settlement and move on. So we'll see how this plays out. It's a really, really interesting story because it always has divided the cryptocurrency space. This is something that should have been expected by many people in this space. This is something I expected to see, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out because Richard Hart spends a lot of his time defending himself online because of the hate and backlash he gets for Hex. Recently, that has changed slightly. He's stepped down a little bit on social media. He has gotten his Twitter bio now. If we take a look at Richard Hart here, Richard Hart, they've put on their social medias now that he does not read any of the messages. So Richard doesn't read messages, email, newspapers, magazines, letters, communication of any form, or listen to the radio or nearly anything else. Stay humble. So he's not actually behind these channels. Somebody did say on the stream yesterday that he has actually deleted his YouTube channel as well. So he's taken a step back from all of the social medias for now in the coming up to these charges. So I imagine they would have been in conversation throughout the last couple of weeks, similar to how Coinbase and Binance were before they got charged as well. But we'll keep an eye on that story. Let's move on to the next one here. So what do we have here? Let's see, how long has today's stream been so far? 24 minutes. Okay, we've got time. We've got more time to go. Somebody said our streams are a little bit long and they'd prefer them a little bit shorter. So let me know in the chat if you agree with that, because we can make them faster and shorter if you all prefer. Let's take a look at this. Tether declares $3.3 billion in excess reserves. So Tether has released its Q2 financials for the fiscal year 2023, revealing its excess reserves continue to grow. Tether has released its Q2 financial report. So according to the report, Tether recorded operational profits of $1 billion from April to June, representing a 30% increase compared to Q1. And Tether's impressive financials align with Bitcoin's impressive gains thus far in 2023. So Despite the consolidation periods appearing to be getting more prolonged and frequent, the report also reveals that 85% of Tether's reserves are held in liquid investments comprising cash or cash equivalents. So Tether's total assets amount to $86.4 billion. Are they going to invest these profits into Bitcoin? That's what I would like to know. This is something that USDT seem to do, Tether seem to do, and they do seem to have nice impacts on that. So fingers crossed they invest some of this into Bitcoin. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Randy says, hey Jess, what time does CSE daily stream start in the mornings? I'm in the US Central Time Zone. So typically we start between 11 and 12 in the morning BST time. So I don't know what time that is for US Central Time Zone. But it's, I mean, anytime around now really. In the last hour I usually start. So it's 12 here now, but it's 12 p.m. BST time now. So anytime from now to around an hour ago is the time that we like to start these. Maybe we should have a strict time for these. Let me know what time is best for you guys, because if we come to an agreement that you all prefer one time over another, we can make that happen. So roughly 64% of ETH holders in profit as Ethereum celebrates its 8th anniversary. So nice big move there. Nice to hear that Ethereum has been stable for this long, and this is another reason, this is one of the main reasons as to why I think it would be very, very hard for one of these ETH killers to take over Ethereum. I think that Ethereum has been around for long enough, it's proven its longevity, it's proven that it should have that top spot, and I think for an Ethereum killer to come and take its place is very, very difficult. And as the years go on, that is becoming more and more of a valid reasoning here. Let's see what's going on here with the next article. IRS classifies crypto rewards for staking as taxable income. So crypto rewards earned from the provision of validation services in a proof of stake network are now considered taxable gains by the IRS. If you're interested in this article, I'll drop this one in the chat. Taxes are not something I like to talk about. I just pass everything to the accountant and get them to sort that out. Let's take a look at the next one. Bald Rug. So Pepe Whale loses almost $1.8 million investment in Base's meme token. We have just spoke about this quickly. Meme coins are back. They are being rugged left, right and center. As I said on that Martini guy's Instagram, Twitter profile, you could see that Bald has rugged and Base has seen a massive move to the downside as well. So maybe this was just a phase, another nice move to the upside. Are people going to trust meme coins as we continue to move forwards? I think something else is going to come in. Meme coin phases don't last forever. We have seen these seasons over and over again. Eventually it will come to an end and our focuses will shift to tokens that are actually trying to make a positive impact. Right now these are just tokens that are going to go up, they're going to go down, or their only utility is that they're tradable assets that have value and their values fluctuate. Let's take a look at the next one here. We have FTX plans, confirms plan to relaunch exchange. We have spoke about this so much on the channel. Are you going to use the centralized exchange again or not? I believe if I was the new CEO, I would be relaunching the FTX as an exchange. If you got handed on a plate an entire cryptocurrency exchange, which could be extremely profitable, and all you needed to do is press that big button and start again, now they've got all of those bad actors out of the company, 100% I would press go. It's a profit generating machine. All of those bad actors have been removed. All it needs now is to rebuild that user base. Now, obviously, if FTX has a rebrand and it changes itself around, there's no reason for people to not trust FTX as much as the next centralized exchange. All centralized exchanges have these problems. In fact, FTX's relaunch would probably be the most regulated centralized exchange. I mean, the regulators would spend so much time focusing on that relaunch to make sure that it wasn't going to do the same thing again. So you could say that they was going to have the most regulated protection out of all centralized exchanges in the future, potentially. It would be interesting to see how many people used this exchange once again. I was never really an FTX user before. I had an account, I've traded a couple of times, but I was not involved in that crash, but it was a horrendous crash to see. Let's see what else is going on. Bitcoin's timeline into the next bull market. So this is actually an article which discusses what I think, let's search for my name and see if this is the article. Yeah, so this is we sat down with analyst Interpret Crypto, which is me, to discuss her thoughts and feelings going into the next year. So I'll drop the link to this in today's chat. I will run through this article quickly though and discuss with you what I interpreted around Bitcoin in the next year or so. So what we have here is my predictions of what's going to happen in the next bull market. Now I have a lot of people asking me, what do you think Bitcoin's going to go to in the next bull market? What's the new all-time high? When's it going to happen? All of these typical questions that you see in cryptocurrency a lot. But I like to think of things slightly differently to how I used to think of things. I believe thoroughly in the 4-year cycles and that they are going to repeat. We're going to see another bull market. We're going to see another bear market. I do believe over time, as in the long time frames, 10 to 20 years, these bull markets and bear markets are going to be a much less volatile. We're going to see Bitcoin start to really find its fair market value and see a whole lot more sideways action. But right now, I don't think we're at that point yet. We have a huge amount of adoption to go, and are we going to get that within the next year and a half? I think it could take a little bit longer than that. I do think we're going to see nice new all-time highs. We're going to see the market cap increase massively. We have the spot Bitcoin ETF. We have many other reasons to believe that, but we do have a few more bear markets to go as well, I think. And with that in mind, I want to pay close attention to what's happening right now because I want to take advantage of this bull market while it's come. Now, I've been working at Crypto Saving Expert for around 2 years now. The majority of those 2 years have been pretty bearish. I was full-time crypto before that as well, and that was a great time to be in the markets. And then the last 2 years, while we've been building this website, the price of Bitcoin's just been dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. But I do think eventually this is going to come to an end. And when that does, I have some predictions here. I'm not going to give you my bull market top price prediction like a lot of people will do because I just think that's an inaccurate way to look at things. What I like to do is to look at time frames instead. What I would always say is don't make an investment based on how big you want your portfolio to get. If you have a figure in your mind, if you say, I want my portfolio to reach $100, that is going to play games with you. You are going to be trading with your emotions rather than looking at the charts and with the data. So I would say scrap all those ideas and instead look at the facts. What we have here is we have seen in previous years 4-year cycles over and over again. What we see is we don't see a new all-time high until around 3 months after the Bitcoin halving. So I'm expecting in April 2024, when we see the next Bitcoin halving, I'm not expecting us to have reached a new all-time high. I'm expecting us to be close to that, maybe $50,000. And then a few months after that, if history repeats itself and we see a new all-time high, we typically see a new all-time high around 3 months after the Bitcoin halving. So that's looking at around July, August. We then see the top of the bull market 1.5 years after the Bitcoin halving. That's what's happened in history. So if we project that to what's happening when the next Bitcoin halving is, we're looking at around September 2025. So around that time, I'm going to be taking profits over and over again in the months leading up to that. Now, I'm also taking a look at what's happening right now and seeing what potential we have here. Now, we have a huge lot, we have 8 months to go until that Bitcoin halving. Now, as I've just said, $50,000 wouldn't be unrealistic for that time frame if we're looking at the previous 4-year cycles. So if we're looking at $50,000 for April, what are we going to do for the next 8 months? That's the question everyone seems to be asking when I come with this thesis. There's quite a lot of options here. We could see a whole lot more sideways action. And I've been saying this since April. When we had those moves to the upside at the start of the year, I was saying everyone was getting so bullish, $50,000 price targets. Now I was saying, whoa. We have the 4-year cycles here. If we have a new all-time high now, all of the thesis goes out the window. I'm sure no one will know what's happening anymore. And I just don't see it being realistic. I don't see the trend breaking at this point in time. So if we have all of those high prices and high price changes at the start of the year, that 100% gain for Bitcoin, I do expect some sideways action. And that is exactly what we've seen so far. And I'm expecting even more of that. Now, right now, the cryptocurrency community is incredibly divided. We've seen us trying to break through that $32,000 level. We have failed to break through that $32,000 level. And now we've broken down below that $29,000 level. So what are we going to do now? So what we can see is, before I forget, Isla's just mentioned, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. So what are we going to see from now to April? I think more sideways action. I do think a net upwards movement. If you take a look at the previous 4-year cycles, in the year prior to a Bitcoin halving, every single other Bitcoin halving has had a net positive year. So from April 2023 to April 2024, if we were to project that onto the current times, we should see a net movement to the upside. Now, in April 2023, Bitcoin was at $30,000. So this indicates to me we should be seeing a price higher than $30,000 in April next year at that point of that Bitcoin halving. So that's what I'm looking at. And in this time frame, I'm looking for altcoins. I'm looking for exciting things. But I'm also aware that in the bull markets, the altcoins that come through and shine and increase the most, like Solana in the last bull market, they're typically they've not been released yet. So I'm keeping my eyes closed for keeping my eyes open for new projects to come up and shine and show us all the potential of blockchain technology. But right now, I'm looking at the markets. We're seeing sideways action. We're seeing some movements. Obviously bullish in the long term, so I'm just trying to accumulate as much as I can. That's my own personal portfolio. That's what's explained in this article. If you want more details, make sure to go to that because I've probably explained things a little bit better there. But let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin quickly before we finish today's stream. So let's take a look at this. We have Bitcoin. We have a crashing computer is what we have here. Let's try and refresh this and see if this is going to work. Let's hope for this to be a little bit better. What we have is the 4-hour chart. We have seen a move to the downside. Obviously, we haven't had great news this week. Cat Finance has been hacked. Re-entrancy hacks, not what we wanted to see. If we take a look at resetting this time frame, reset price time, so you can see here we have a level of support at 28.2, and this has come from the start of the year and has been bounced 3 times. I'm expecting this to hold. If this doesn't hold, then yes, fair enough, we can get some bearish price targets, but right now we have that level of support, and it's a strong level of support. Now, this is going to end up giving us some sort of timeline. So what we have here is this point here. Let's point this up. So we have this horizontal level here. This is at the $28,750 level. We also have this point here. This is the $32,400 level. This was acting as a level of support in the previous bull market. We are now trying to break through this, and that is what's causing some difficulty here. So what we could see here is some more sideways action, but at the end of the day, if we're going to manage to hold this level of support, we should expect to break to the upside by October. Now, we could see us break through this level of support here if that is... Oh, my battery camera has just died. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. So this is the chart we're looking at right now. We have some sort of time limit on this. We either break this level of support or we get through that level of resistance at $32,000, and that will be a telltale sign for how Q4 of this year goes. But that's all we have for today's news anyway, because you can't see me now anyway. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button, and I'll see you all back